It's a non-core banger. Dr. Ross dropping knowledge to the masses. Man, you now tuned in to purpose and practice. Ayy, yeah, purpose and practice. Keep your mental sharp, learn all the tactics. Dr. Ross dropping knowledge to the masses. Man, you now tuned in to purpose and practice. Ayy, yeah, purpose and practice. Podcast game, ayy, he got it mastered. It's encore. It's a non-core banger. Dr. Ross.
Peace, 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 peace. Peace to the family out there, to the community, the podcast community. We are back for another episode of the Purpose and Practice podcast with your host, Dr. Ross Dill. Yo, I'm tired, man. Like we going hard. We had 2 episodes this week. Last night we had the sister Radia Rhodes in, who really laid it down with a fire interview. Shout out to her for coming through last night with those gems. And tonight, we're back again because I was like, we got off track a week ago and we missed the episode. We missed the week. And I was like, we got to make up. So I was like, I'm just going to do it. And we're going to stretch, the week, and we're going to make 2 happen in the week. So we are back again, with real stories from authentic folks who are doing brilliant things. And it just so happens that, a shout out to Long Branch. It just so happens that this has become like this hub of Long Branch talent, man. Like it's like crazy Long Branch talent. And let me stop saying it just so happens, because we already know what time it is. Long Branch is straight brilliance in Long Branch. Right. So word up. Tonight we have, someone special guest for me, one of my former students, someone who I've learned much from too, as he has learned from me. But we have, Anthony Steverson in the house. And this brother is ultra talented, from photography, videography. He's making dreams come to life, and his vision in his eye is just crazy. You may have seen some of his commercials. I was checking out the things you was doing during the Black Lives Matter stuff. And, it was deep. We're gonna get into that, but without further ado, like we got, the Gordon Parks in the making, coming through. Yo, how you feeling, Anthony? How you feeling, bro?
Yo, I got my Starbucks right here, man. Quick plug-in. Hopefully they sponsor you.
No doubt.
I run on caffeine. They say America runs on Dunkin', but I just run on caffeine. No matter if it's Dunkin', Starbucks, or Coca-Cola.
True. Like, I'm Starbucks, bro. A Starbucks here. It's straight Starbucks for me, man. It costs, but I just love it. Love it.
Right?
Yo, it costs, but
can you imagine every time with the Starbucks, instead of spending that money you put into stocks?
Don't say that.
Or something like that.
Yo, don't say that, man, because sometimes I'll take a break, right? But it got so bad when I go there, I'm in a drive-through, lady at the drive-through, like your usual, like she's yelling out, and I got like a crazy order. Like I get Americano, double cup, steamed heavy cream. Like I go crazy with it. So she just coming like with bam, bam, bam. I'm like, I'm here that much. She's like, no, I just got a good memory. I'm like, nah, I'm here that much. So shout out to the Starbucks. I gotta get my Starbucks in every day. So man, like, thank you. It's been you. It's funny because I reached out to you a while back
before the first episode.
Yes. Yes, you were. Yes.
You're like, I got this thing I'm thinking about doing. Like, I don't have a logo yet. Like, I'm not sure like where I want to take it. I'm like, Ross, let me know. You're like, slow and steady.
It's funny because you're right. Because I thought about you with the logo, and I didn't hear back, and I was like trying to move super fast. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't hear back. It was like a week, and I was like, I gotta get this logo rather. And one of my people's helped hook me up with something. But you and I, like I told you while we were off the air, I'm definitely gonna hit you up because there's a project that I have.
I'm surprised we haven't connected during like the BLM movement, like during the summer. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah. And you know what? I was on a low, and I wasn't even able to do a lot. I wasn't able to do much, man. My
Okay.
wife was sick during
Oof.
this whole pandemic. She's
Oh,
been
I think I
sick.
saw it on Facebook.
Yes. So
You're
I
doing
haven't, yes.
updates. Yep.
Yeah. So I haven't even, I've been real careful. So I've been missing out on a lot of the things in terms of being out in public, and so and that really hurt, man, because I even wanted my kids to experience those marches, and we're gonna get into that, man, because bro, you captured it's so much that you captured. I remember seeing the basketball girl, the girl,
Stefania.
That was talk about that. Like you got see, you're gonna have me all over the place tonight. But let's talk so that we don't miss that. Let's talk a little bit about that. What happened, how that all went down.
So this was what I wasn't even doing anything. I was only going to like the protests and marches for photography work and video, right? Cue my kids and stuff like that. So I wasn't doing like anything like extreme. And me and her were trying to. She's sponsored by Wilson and Nike.
Okay.
So to do like certain things like with basketball in the community, and she's all about giving back. So she's like, "Yo, Aunt," she's like, "Yo, I want to go to Minnesota." She's like, "I want to go to Minneapolis, like where it happened with George Floyd."
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, cool. I was like, just, give me some notice in advance. I'm like, when are you trying to do it? She's like, yo, this weekend. I said, huh? I haven't even left like Asbury Long Branch since like April. It was like June. I said, you want me to go where? On a plane too? I was like, Ross, I hit up all my boys. I was like, yo, should I do this?
Yo.
So like, yo, Aunt, just go. So we flew out there. She bought it, so she was gonna buy a basketball at one like the sports authorities and stuff like that in Minnesota, but they didn't have it, so she bought it here. We packed it up on a plane. It was 3 of us. Damn. So we flew up there. We went to like where the crime scene was, and we built the basketball court right there. Now, Ross, I saw more cops in our area than actual where George Floyd
actually went down. Wow.
I thought there was going to be like smoke bombs, like like barricades.
Yeah,
it was a cookout.
Wow.
Raw. Like being amongst like our people, white people, Asians, Hispanics, like everyone was having a good time. There was like people out there playing drums. There were people, so there was different families out there with barbecue tents, and they weren't charging people nothing. Like you can like do a donation and tip them, but they had ribs, chicken, soda. Like it was almost like it was like a celebration of the town, like everyone coming together, like peace, unity. I didn't see one cop out there.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
I was like,
it was just love.
And you see like and we were in the crime scene. I'm literally like standing over where his body was.
Wow.
So we got the basketball court. We rolled it down there. Stefania was like, "Hey guys, I'm doing basketball, bringing people together, unity, da da da." So we had the whole community like just playing basketball, and like, everyone was just coming to us like, "Yo, we love this. Like what you're doing." Ross, it was like 95 degrees outside. I still got the tan. Like yo,
wow.
And I had a shirt on though. Like how I get a tan? Like on my.
It was crazy. Wow.
Yo, I wasn't even playing basketball.
But it was, it was such a great idea because it just captured like the humanity of that moment and the simplicity of a game of basketball.
That's it.
But it kind of was like one of those, like it made you forget about everything else, because at one point I saw, and this may have been when you were all in DC. I think you ended up in DC, right? And I saw like police officers playing with challenging people. Like I was like, yo, this is real. It just took off. Took off.
So think about this. So you have me, African American. You have Stefania, and we were other 2 African Americans. Also, I think it was another white guy with us, right? All of us just walking the streets. Now, mind you, if we didn't have a basketball, we probably would have got stopped. And Stefania told me, she's like, she kept looking on her shoulder. It was at nighttime when we were done and everything. I said, what's wrong? she was like, yo, Aunt, she was like, yo, like, she's like, I know I'll be fine, but she's like, yo, I'm worried about everyone around me.
Wow.
I was like, damn, Aunt. And right there, I forgot, like,
just yes.
You know what I'm saying?
That reality, it's like, yes.
And she's like, yeah. But the whole time, like, we got the basketball court, and, and the cops are like, yo, what's up? What's on? You need help? Yo, and she's like, yo, you trying to play ball? Like, nah, bye. Like, but like, she still thought there was a chance because we were going down the street in Washington, D.C. Cop car pulled over. It's like dark. They didn't have lights on. And everyone got quiet. And they were like, they rolled down the window. It was like slow motion. They were like, oh, you guys playing ball? We're like, yeah, but we're just wrapping up. They're like, oh, okay, because we're about to get a game in. We're like, oh, you trying to play? Like, no, we playing. And they just pulled off. And we were like, wow. Yo, that could end in so many different ways.
Different ways, man. Different
ways.
They
probably thought we could have been stealing it.
Yeah. And see, and those are the things in our minds, that's how we begin to think, you know? Because when you said that just like, when you said like, you know, she was like, yo, I wasn't worried about me, but I began to worry about y'all. And that is so heavy, bro. That right, yo. And you were so caught up in the moment that for a minute you could have forgotten, like, yo, Gary,
we got good content. Like, we brought people together, and her heart's pounding. Like, you know what I'm saying? My heart's beating fast because it was a good day.
Yes.
But her heart's beating fast because she's scared. So and she has nothing to worry about.
That's deep, man. That's deep. And that was like when I saw those pictures, I was like, yo, that was so brilliant, man. I saw it up on Twitter and then on your Instagram. I was like, yo, what a brilliant thing to do.
ESPN?
No, I didn't see it. I didn't see it ESPN.
When the NBA came back, I think the first game, TNT did a special on her. Wow. I got sent the link. And they definitely. It started in Philly. That's where she's from.
She's from, okay.
And she wanted me to be a part of this in the beginning, but I feel like I was supposed to be there because I came late into like the whole like movement and stuff like that with the basketball. So I wanted the others to shine, but she's like, and like NBA is coming, interview me. I want you to be there. I'm like, it's not really my place. Like I literally like I just did like one day with her at this time. But TNT did a special on her. Like
no, I didn't know that. I gotta you definitely have to send that, man.
They did a whole special, like this whole like cinematic thing, like her like walking the streets of Philly, playing with the cops, and then like Chuck and Ernie and them and stuff like that.
They were talking about it.
Yup.
Damn.
Yeah.
It really, you know, there was one shot and it was like the sun was kind of going down. I think y'all were in DC. And it's kind of like you could just see like the silhouettes of, you know, someone taking a shot. And I was like, it was just powerful because then it's in the midst of all of this chaos.
We brought it from the White House. Yo, Ross, think about this. Like little kids, like just like coming up, like looking up to her. And especially, so what makes it even more powerful that she's a female and she could hang with the dudes.
She was balling.
She was giving the dudes a sauce. So like dudes come up to her, they'd be like, yo, if I beat you, you gotta give me your number. All of them do that. All of them. She's like, I bet, because they're not gonna beat her. So it's like, all right, cool. Boom, just like hit. Wow. You know, like so what's special about her is like a lot of people see her sex appeal, right? And like, oh no, she don't got a jumper. They get on the court with her, Ross. They got a whole different perspective.
It's a different level of respect. Like
different respect. And she knows her brand. So the way she markets herself, right? And then she gets down to business. Then she's like, all right, what's good?
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Let's go. I got maybe
definitely.
Maybe get her on the show.
I was going to say, man, we may have to do the three of us, like get together, have a conversation, and talk through this, man. I think that's the move, man. I think we need to do a show. I think we do. I need to get on that TNT level. So we're gonna do a show. Word.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that up to you. And you'll reach out. And we'll make that happen. And it's good that we started this way, man, because it's like, you know, somebody from the outside can look at what you're doing now, you know, and we're going to talk more about what you're doing now. And they can say, well, how did this all come to be? Like, did you always know? One of the things that what I'm trying to do, Anthony, with this show is I'm trying to package together stories of real people who have made impacts, right? But eventually what I want to do is take these stories to different school districts and say, all right, here's a brochure. Here are the names, the photos, the stories, the brief stories and bios of these people. How can you in school districts get these people into your schools, speaking to your children, speaking to students, and giving them like a quick, like, yo, this was the struggle. This is how I overcame it. This is how I started a business. This is how I wrote a book. This is like this. These are the stories that young people need to hear. So with that said, I like to go back of growing up, because there had to be some times and spaces and when you didn't think that you would be doing, what you just explained.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind just taking us back, man, to like growing up, what it was like coming through school, if you could just share some stories with us, bro.
You know what? My experience is so different from everybody. You know what I'm saying? Everyone has like those stories about, getting in fights and, the tension and all that stuff like that, like through the school system. But when I tell my story, I'm like, yo, I got along with everybody. Like, I think that's what also makes me be so creative, stuff like that. 'Cause I was creative in the way I moved about with like friends and groups and stuff like that. Like, I'm a chameleon. So like, I was friends with the gangsters. I was friends with the geeks. I was friends with the jocks. Like all of them. And everyone else has different stories. Everyone's like, I was with this group, that group. During lunchtime, you gotta like, pick a table and stuff like that. Like, I sat at any table. I was just neutral.
Yeah. And I remember that about you. In like a calm demeanor.
Yes.
A very calm demeanor. But were you always like that?
Yes.
You never was a rockhead running around, man?
Nope.
Ever? Wow.
Nope.
Wow. So middle school, elementary school?
Like, that's it. I could be riding bikes, but like where like people used to get in trouble, what I'm saying, like on like 7th Ave and like in Long Branch and stuff like that, Rockwell. I could walk home, not even be worried about anything. Like they're like, yo, man, like people be on their porch, like, yo, man, what's up? Like, I have my book bag with all the books in it. I'm the only one bringing a book. I bring my whole locker with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm having back problems at this point, but yeah, like I was just neutral.
So so you grew up in Long Branch, though?
Yep.
All right. Whereabouts in Long Branch?
Started in Pleasure Bay.
Okay.
We'll get to the finer details.
Okay.
That was the first landing point after the hospital.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I moved to 7th Ave.
All right.
And then I went to what was it? Holy Trinity, I think it was the first.
That's your first school?
That was the first school. Yeah. Yep.
So how long did you go through Holy Trinity, man? Did you go all the way up until like middle school?
You know what's crazy? I thought it was a lower cap than that because my parents pulled me out. So I thought it was just like a couple of grades and that was it.
Okay. So you did like elementary.
Yeah. It was so fun. They did like elementary, preschool. I did like kindergarten, preschool, I think. Something like that. Because elementary was Gregory School.
Oh, you Gregory School head. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's what's up.
Like Miss Weems and Miss Robinson.
Yes.
Like,
wow. That is funny. That's Weems. That's Dr. Freeman now.
Yes.
Yes, Dr. Freeman, Roberta Freeman. Great people, man. Great people. I have to tell her. So were you in her class over there?
She used to come to my birthday parties. That's how like of a good student I was. I used to have birthday parties at DC Discovery Zone. Remember in West Long Branch?
I know. Yes.
I used to have parties there. Miss Weems would show up with like birthday card. Wow. I got pictures of Miss Weems at my birthday party.
That doesn't surprise me, man. That doesn't surprise me. That's exactly who she is. It's funny because she's very close friends with us and my family. And
I haven't seen her forever. My mom's seen her, like ShopRite or like stuff like that, but
she's still in Long Branch, man. She's an administrator in Long Branch, doing great things. She made a cake for my daughter's birthday, that we love. She likes to make cakes. She made an ice cream cake. You just reminded me when you said she came to your birthday party. But great people, man. And one of those Gregory School old heads, because she was there at that original Gregory School.
Do you remember Miss Robinson?
Yes. Well, there was a few, because there's one who's still there, Miss Robinson. She's still at Gregory.
Back hair.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. She's still at Gregory, man. She's at the new building. Yep.
No way.
Yes. She's another. That's a treasure, because there's so many generations that she connects. Yep, but she's still there, man. And some of my friends who work there in the school said she's still doing great things there for kids. So that's what's up. Yep. Shout out to Gregory, Miss Robinson. Great people, man. Great people. Yep.
I think Gregory School was the reason I started reading in the beginning, because they used to have what was it, Reading Railroad?
Yes.
I don't know what it was. Like you read a certain amount of books and you got Pizza Hut.
Yep.
It was like 5 stickers.
I remember that. Because the Pizza Hut used to be up the street.
Right, the diner used to be.
Yes.
No.
So that's what got you like, I'm doing my reading. It's funny because we were a little late getting on tonight because of that. I was like, I got to read with my son. And he came to me like, are we going to read? And it was getting late. I was like, all right, we got this. So I wanted him to get his chapter in because there's some incentives for him. So just like you wanted that Pizza Hut. So so you go through elementary school, you get to the middle school, and when you're in middle school, when do you start realizing art? Like I'm into art in terms of photography. Did you ever realize that in school, or did that come later?
Art started in West End.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if you know the student Jason Schuler. Do you remember him? He was quiet, but he was a good student. If I show you a picture, you'll probably remember. But
sounds very familiar.
I used to draw before, like the sketchbooks and stuff like that. My dream was to do video game development. Okay. So I wanted to be a video game creator and stuff like that, and like do storyboards and animation. So like me and him used to battle with comics, like our own comics, and like do like panels and stuff like that. So that's when I was like, this is what I want to do. And like, of course, like being a video game head, like, Super Nintendo, Genesis, all that is like, I saw the art in it. I didn't just see it as a game. Like, so I was like, people made this.
True. You start getting to the science behind it.
Yes.
Right? Yes.
Especially with the tech back then, like people weren't even thinking about the technology back then, like all that coding and all that stuff had to go on behind the scenes. Like you only had like 20 megabytes of RAM back then. So yeah, that's what happened. It was just like art, drawing, and then through middle school, still drawing, and then college. That's when things got like a little more serious and stuff like that.
And you went out college in New Jersey, right?
Yes.
You go to college. You went to college in New Jersey. Okay.
Yeah.
And you got into a program there. Did you go in knowing that's what you wanted to do? No.
I went there for pharmaceutical.
What did you go for? I remember. Why do I remember that? Why do I remember? For some reason, I remember.
You remember when you got me, Vanessa Kelly, Jarrett?
Yes.
Who
was it? It was one more.
And Lisa.
Yes.
You guys speak on a panel.
Yep.
For the new high school. Was it the new high school?
Yes, that was the first year in the new high school. Yes. Y'all came back. Yep. Because you probably were a senior that year then. Or maybe you were like maybe second, third year in college. No more than that. Yes. Right? Yeah. Yeah, you all came back. And that was a great, there's still kids that graduated now who say that was one of the reasons why they chose to go to college, bro. Because of that day and hearing y'all stories. And it's funny because that's kind of what this is. It's like, how do we get these stories out there? And when y'all came, I'll never forget y'all. I still have pictures of that.
I know. I remember.
Yep. Y'all in a panel, dropping knowledge. And those
my
kids,
jacket was a little too big for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
they loved it, man. They loved it. They really did. And so you get to College of New Jersey, pharmacy first. Like, did you trip in terms of like, how did that go? Like going from pharmacy. Now, let me ask you this though. Did you study photography at College of New Jersey?
No.
Okay. All right.
Nah.
All right. So it didn't even go down like that. It was like,
I'm like, yo, if I could have set up a studio in my dorm room,
wow, that
would have been money.
Wow.
That would have been dope, you know? But nah, yeah, it was years later. Wow. After I didn't start photography until like what, 2017?
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I remember because I would always like inbox you for advice or suggestions or cameras or technology, monitors, all kind, like I would always like, yo, what you know about this? What you think about these headphones and I remember when you got your first camera, like I remember that, and you was like going through the specs, and I was like, yo, he geeking out over this, and that's where it all started.
My first paid photo shoot was with I believe it was Amanda Chaya.
Really?
You remember Amanda?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember Amanda.
I think so. Like, yeah, that's.
So you did something like a personal thing, like family thing with her, or was
it she reached out for like a family like photo shoot and stuff like that.
Wow. And you was like, word, like let me do it.
Yeah, I was like, okay, all right.
So that must have been, because here's the thing, man, an entrepreneur, and I just started a business, right? And it takes courage, bro, because it's almost like, was that like some high pressure for you? Like, I want to perform and I want to make sure I deliver.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like, I knew I can like where I started at was still better than the average, stuff like that. But the whole thing about starting a business was so hard is how you price yourself. Like even people who've been in the game, like even like my peers, they're still like, they still question themselves about pricing. And they've been in the game for like, 5+ years. It's so hard. It's like every situation is different and stuff, especially when you start at all. Like, you don't want to undervalue yourself, right? But then there's more pressure. Even if you say the amount that you're worth, it's like, yo, I really got delivered. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to go above and beyond than that price. So it's like,
let's talk about that. How did you? Because that's real talk. That's what you're saying is real. Like, so that value piece, because you don't want to undervalue yourself. You really don't. And I think about, there was a podcast, this is years ago, Combat Jack was doing, and he had Nipsey Hussle on. Like, this is going back to maybe 2014, 2013. And that's when he had dropped that $100 mixtape, Nipsey. And people were like, yo, he tripping, $100 mixtape. But he talked about the importance of not undervaluing your product. And he was like, yo, when you put it up there, people gonna be like, yo, I need that in my life, and especially if it's quality. So did you find yourself immediately, like, where did you find yourself, like, on the spectrum of undervaluing or overvaluing and upselling? Where did you find yourself when you first started?
Dang, good question. I think undervalue. So thing is, like, my beginning work was still better than even like professionals have been in the game, like that's been there for a while, right? Because some of these photographers get away with murder.
With prices.
Oh, especially like wedding photographers. Like, don't get me started, Ross. Some people come to me with their wedding photos. I'm like, how much they charge you? What?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man. I'm like, damn. I'm like, yeah, they got you. But so yeah, I think so in the beginning, I definitely undervalued because like most of the time you're supposed to, like, it's so confusing. You're supposed to be like per hour sometimes. Then we do packages, and then what's the right amount of photos that you give and stuff like that. And if you give too many, then people don't value your work. But you know what I'm saying? But then if you give too less, and then people think you're not getting enough. And there's no like right answer, there's no formula for it, and it's just like, and I'm still going back and forth like between like what's like good for me, and then what I figured out is like it's whatever is how your schedule is. Like when you feel like you have to raise the prices, that's when you're really busy.
We're busy. Gotcha.
Because then you don't care about if you don't get that business.
Gotcha. You could say, all right, then, like, and move on, or keep busy with what you're already busy with. Mm-hmm. So that's when you know. Wow.
Because you get to the point where you're like, yo, like I gotta pay a bill next week, right? So you're like, all right, I'll do this for like $50. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like $50 in a pizza slice. You know? But when you get super busy, you're like, yo, like I can't handle it. Like, all right, this is like this is the price. Like, this is it.
Yeah. So is it just you? Like, you have anybody who's working with you? Like, what's the flow like?
I got some of my peers right now in the YouTube chat. They're chiming. I don't know if you can see
it. I see it. Yo, they're tripping in there too. I see them all.
so right now I'm in a creative group with Simon, Steven, and Jacqueline, and like some of them are in here right now and stuff like that. And then they're photographers. One of them is kind of dipping into like video and stuff like that. But we always like bounce like ideas off and like what should we do, like pricing and stuff like that. But I'm looking at one that comes still struggling with pricing myself with certain services. Yeah. It's like I'm telling you, Ross, it's a always evolving thing. Mm-hmm. You know, and even when you Google it, right? Like in the beginning, I'm like, what's the right pricing for photography? What's the right pricing for videography? Then you go from one link to another, and then you get like a thing that says, hey, pay X amount of dollars and we'll tell you the secret. You know what I'm saying? You're like, oh my God.
It's like that ripoff. And it's funny because I remember you did, it was Asbury Park Press piece, right?
Yes.
Was that like your first? That was like the first thing.
Wow. That's what was like. It was like, oh shoot, showtime.
Wow.
I was
what year was that, Ant? What year was that?
17.
That's when you first really got started too. Like that's when. So it
happened that summer.
Wow.
That summer.
Wow.
I was with my friend Amanda Robinson from TC&J. So she does stuff like Puma, Nike. She was a Brooklyn net dancer and stuff like that. So I took her out to Asbury and we shot. And now, yo, Ross, that shot that was on the paper, that was the last shot of the day.
Where?
It wasn't even planned. we was going back to the car.
Wow.
I was like, yo, stay right there.
Yeah, because it's in a crosswalk, right? It's in a crosswalk. Yes.
Cars coming by. I was like, stay right there. Yo, please. I was like, can you just like do one of these? Yeah, she's like, all right, bet. I was like, do. All right, go back in the car. All right, we're good.
Wow. Yo, it seemed like it's always like that.
Yo, and that I put it on Twitter, right? Asbury Park found it on Twitter and like, hey, we want to like use it, blah blah blah. And then that's how I met the deputy mayor of Asbury Park. And then that led me to the job. So I was doing city photos for Asbury Park last year.
Wow.
All because of one photo.
Wow. That's what I had somebody on. Who was it? It was a while ago. Friday. It was Larry Friday. And he was like, we were just talking about being noticed. And he was like, bro, you just got to keep putting the content out there. Because he explained the story, how he got noticed that way and got recognized, musically. And he was like, I kept at it. Like I just kept making music. So when you share a story like that, it's like, sometimes you can think that you're creating all this content and no one's noticing, and bam, just like that. That's heavy, man. That's heavy. Yeah, that's heavy. And then, so you do the Asbury Park Press thing. Is it a lull after that, or do things really pick up fast?
After that, dang, make me go through the timeline. I was always busy though. Like even if it wasn't paid. I think I started getting into cosplay.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, a lot of that. Yeah.
So I started doing like Spider-Man and like I was getting into that community and stuff like Bumblebee and so I met my dude like Trevor Bell. And then that was the second cover for Asbury Park. So like I was always trying to like challenge myself and stuff like that. And then also that's when I found out I like to capture movement. So that's when I started working with like dancers, and then I started talking to the Brooklyn Net dancers, and then that's when that's when things started.
When I saw that, I was like, hold up. I said, hold up. Like the videos and so did you work on the videos and the photography for that? So that Brooklyn Nets thing?
So there's no position for that. I created it, right? Wow. So I was only there to take photos of their practice. Like, I knew someone there, and it's like I knew someone that used to work there, and they got me in touch with the captain, and then they're like, yo, come through, take some photos of us. And then, I was like, all right, cool. Then they invited me back to like another practice session. I was like, all right. I was like, it'd be so dope if I could come to the arena. Like just one game. There's one game, right? And they're like, yeah, we'll see, blah, blah. Because the thing is, like, there's a lot of people who work for the NBA. You gotta have like, the badges. You actually get hired, go through an interview process. Like I was just there as like just freelancing, just because I knew them. So I did stuff from like one night, and I pitched the idea to them. I said, hey, I was like, you guys don't have anyone that can capture that first game in the season, like the vibes and the pressure, right? Like, if I can capture that with video, I was like, I think it'd be so dope, right? And I just pitched it, and they were like, yo, we love it. They're like, yo, come through. So then I started doing that, and then it led to me connecting with my dude Troy Press. He's the one that he's like the entertainment manager. So he was like, we want you to start doing stuff for the halftime performers. And that's when I started. Then I started doing stuff for the dancers too. And I was doing stuff for like Young M.A. I was doing like Partisan Fontaine. I was doing Afrobeat. Like all of the performers were like, yo, Ant, can you be here tomorrow? Like it was like so random. They're like, yo, tomorrow, 5:00. So like that. So going there for shooting, for free, going to their practice, right? Like not like no glitz, no glamour, going there and shooting, nothing special, led to other things.
It opened up things. That's a part that is hard, it's hard to get some folks to realize about success. Is that, and that's why I named this the title of this show and the title of my business, Purpose and Practice, because the purpose part sometimes is the easier part, right? Like, this is what I want to do. I know I love it. I'm passionate about this. The hard part is putting that work in and the practice. So in sometimes where it's not glitz, it's not glamour, it's like a grind, And was it ever times where you were like, yo, I could be doing this, I could be making more money, I could be doing, or did you feel like, nah, I got to be in this space, and the way that other things are going to come is going to be by doing this work?
So money is never like a first option for me. Like I guess like if you talk to people I work with and stuff like that, like I usually don't like we talk about money afterwards. After I like talk about the content and the blueprint. Usually like, people be like, hey, this is the price. All right, Venmo me or pay me, and then we'll talk about it. I'm like, all right, yo, we could do this. Yo, we go to this studio, blah blah blah. And they're like, all right, so wait, what's the price though? I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. Hold on. Like, it is because like the thing to me is like once you put like that's why they get paid after my work most of the time, because you put so much pressure. Once you get money involved, money in your hands, it changes things. Like it's just like every creator feels like that too. Like your work changes.
Yeah,
it's like
you know what. I like what you just said. I was recently listening to an interview. It was between James Baldwin, the writer James Baldwin, and I forget who was interviewing him now. It was Maya Angelou, and she asked him, do you feel like you are a famous or successful artist? That's what she asked him, and he went on eloquently to explain there is no such thing as a successful artist. So she was like, tell me what you mean. And it's kind of what you just said, because he was like, well, once you create your first piece of art, there's often times where people want you to recreate that same art. And once you start just recreating things, it's just like, hey, I want another Nas Illmatic album, right? Like there are some things we just want people to recreate. And he was like, but once you start recreating things that others want, you're no longer the artist. Like now you so in when you said that about money, it kind of put me in that same mindset, you know. Is that kind of how you feel?
You go from an artist to a machine.
Yeah. And that's what he was saying.
Like a robot.
Yes.
You know, that's what happens. Like I'm a big Kanye fan, right? And everyone says, yo, bring that Oye back. Oye's not coming back.
Yes. That's a perfect example. That's a perfect example.
I'm like, oh, so why is Jay-Z talking about family? Why is he talking about being loyal and faithful? Like, yo, bring out OJ. You know? Like, you guys, yo, Jay.
Yeah. And it's no longer art now. It's not that realness.
Yourself.
Yes. That, bro, that I like that.
Yo, when all people's a product. Man, it's just when people get involved, man, it's just like it's a lot.
You got me. The chat is going crazy with that artist to machine. Like every episode, it's like someone be dropping a line that like just sticks. But that artist to machine is real. Like I like how you just put that together. I love that.
You know what's crazy? Because like everyone's like, like the future is gonna be like full of robots. They're gonna take our jobs and stuff like that. But like slowly we're turning into robots. Like we are becoming those robots. The social media with posting engagement at the right time and what to post and like cancel culture and like if I say this, if I speak my mind, I'm gonna get in trouble. And what do robots do, right? They're programmed. They don't go outside of that perimeter that they're programmed to. That like we are the robots. Like if you think about iRobot, I am the robot. That's it.
You're right, bro. You're right. It's true. It's like we're slaves, and I guess that's why, I was listening to that Baldwin interview, and I'm like, that's basically what he was saying. Like what you just said is like you're gonna be a machine. You're gonna become the slave. You're no longer the artist. Your creativity is gone.
You're an employee.
Wow. You just dropped, bro. You just dropped. Tell me, like I mentioned James Baldwin. He's one of my, inspirations, right? Who inspires you, man? Like where do you find inspiration?
No lie, Kanye.
Okay.
In my yearbook, I have it's my quote. Like, so to reverse real quick, rewind, when you're saying like, when like you're going down this path, like with art and creativity, like, so you probably like, people probably remember people used to be in my class, like for PowerPoint presentations, raws. I used to go in.
Serious.
I used to like with the slides. So like every time the presentation was like a Kanye theme, I would use like audio clips for like whatever I had to present and stuff like that. And I used to remember like people's reactions when I used to put so much effort into these PowerPoint presentations where I was like, I remember people used to be like, Ant, like, this
you're doing too much,
I used to make sure the audio files worked on the teacher's computer and stuff like that. Cause like once you did something on your computer and you brought it over to the teacher's computer, like it just wouldn't work. Like it wouldn't sync up. So I used to get like the CD-ROMs, like CD drives, and like test them out, make sure it worked and all that stuff before a presentation. I used to go in, but I was all about visuals. And when Kanye had College Dropout, and like that, so right before that, it was like the baggy clothes culture, right? The jerseys and like the Timbs, and like I had like all that and like all that stuff. And when Kanye came on the scene, and he just like changed the game with the polos and like like express clothes and with the designs in the hair and the makeup and the music, which is fresh, like the samples and all that stuff like that. So I was just like, I used to listen to his album like all the time, and then like I used to read his book and all that stuff like that. And that's when I was like, all right, this is the artist right here. Like this is the guy.
So that was your inspiration.
That was it.
That College Dropout. And that I remember, it's funny because I remember bringing that to a few of my classes, and we did it was all falls down. And like his music was like
Stacey Dash.
Yeah, it was like a movie, and even that video was like so powerful and
person.
Yeah, it was like that video was different. It kind of was like how you said that era change.
Yeah,
that video kind of exemplifies that era change. It was like the portal that you know that just changed. You know, that was a deep. You know, because
fresh, you know, and then when you learn he was behind someone like Jay-Z's greatest hits and like other people were like, yo, this guy's a creative genius, like that, like he was like my Steve Jobs. You know what I'm saying?
I can definitely see that. Yes, I can definitely see that. I definitely could see that. And one of my favorite, and I think it's on that album. Yeah, it's like the last track on the album where he's just talking and he's explaining the risk that he had to take and packing up and moving from Chicago to
working at Old Navy, getting fired, all that stuff. Yeah, or the Gap, the Gap. Yeah,
and it's like, I'm listening, and see, that's the stuff I love. Like I love like those background stories, because to me, that's what gets me through. That's what makes me believe. Like, you know, I like the success, but I like the grind. So when I watch Rocky, I was more interested in the training that led up to the fight. The fight was the shortest part of the movie. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it was more about that training that happened, you know, and conditioning yourself to be ready for that moment.
Yes.
You know, and that, you know, that's real. So Kanye is the inspiration, yo. That's different, man. It's not different, but I would think I get what you're coming from. Yeah.
It was just the way he moved about things, right?
Yeah.
Like, he just changed
I'm with you.
art.
I'm with you.
He was an artist. Like he was all about art. He went to art school and all that stuff like that. And so it's like he was doing different things. He did stuff with like Daft Punk. You know what I'm saying? He brought those shutter shades. Remember the shades with the blinds on them? I got those, like things like that. And then when you went to school and you just saw the culture of the hallways change. You know, people started wearing pink. People were wearing cloth. People were wearing like, you know, fitted jeans. Like people had backpacks and there was no books in them.
No books. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like, you know, like Argyle and stuff like that. And it was just like, and it was crazy. I just saw it shift. It shifted overnight. And I was like, that's powerful. I was like, I'm pretty sure that changed. Like there was different culture changes before me and stuff like that, and people saw and they got inspired by it. But like I feel like that was like our generation.
It was a tipping point. And you know, and one of the things with Kanye, and somebody had put in the chat about you being a great networker, and you even talked about it. That was one of the brilliant things about Kanye too, is that he was in so many circles. Like when you really look at his work, yo, he was blending. Like, all right, he was doing the Dave Chappelle. He was with the Block Party. He was with Talib and Common. But then he was with Rock. Like, so it was this blend, bro, where he was bringing these groups together. You know, he was bringing people together through his music and creation.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, his birthday is the same as my dad's.
Oh, wow.
June 8th. Wow. I was like, oh, shoot. Wow.
So it was like, yo, this is what it's supposed to be.
Gemini. I was like,
this is what it's supposed to be. So, yo, and check it, man. This is like one of the things I like to talk to my guests about is like, if you went back to high school, right? And you had to give advice to yourself in high school. I love, this is because, you know, it's one of those things where I think it really causes people to really think about their life. And it's really some interesting answers that people share. So if you had to go back and you were able to go back and give yourself some advice as a high schooler, what would that advice be and why?
Buy a camera. learn the settings and lighting ASAP.
I like that. Buy a camera. You said learn the settings and what? Lighting? What'd you say?
Oh, like get on that. Like don't even worry about everything else.
Wow. Because imagine if you did back then.
Oh, invest in Tesla. Earn off stocks. And Apple's gonna be a big thing.
Yo, buy a camera, dog. Like really.
Mm-hmm.
Really though, real talk.
That's
important. I know we joking about it, but that point where you have to invest in your dream or invest in your vision. To me, that's what you're saying. Like
don't worry about those Nikes that are coming down. Don't buy another pair of white Air Forces that are gonna be dirty in gym class next week. Like, oh, man, yo, if all of us could save the money that we had back then, can you imagine like when I got into stocks because of this device, right? I always want to learn about stocks. You heard about Wall Street and people only doing stocks. That's their career. You're like, hey, how you what? And I'm like, how? I ask people like, oh, yeah, go through like a broker and blah blah blah, like all this stuff like that. This bookie. Can you imagine being in middle school, high school, and you're getting allowance, and you open up the app and you're like, yo, I'm about to put $10 in Disney.
True.
Oh my God.
True. And you know what? Yo, in this, there's some shout out Aramith. You remember Aramith? I know he's got his daughter all in the stocks. He was a guest on the show, but because
early guest.
Yes, he was like one of the maybe second. I think he was the second guest on the show. So yo, that's so fire. What you said is like, yo, introducing young folks to that, because that's the thing about the stock game too, is that every dollar counts.
Every dollar.
Every dollar counts.
I'm pretty sure you can take a course out of high school and replace it with money management. Easy.
I agree.
That, like you leave it up to the student, but what course you don't want? It's going to get replaced with money management.
Or it's starting a business. How about that? A whole course on starting a business, going through the entire process.
Before you know it, it's going to be about social media branding. Because you have these TikTok, Instagram. You have people in high school who are making more money than their parents already.
Word up.
And I live in their house.
Yes, they're not. I see it. I remember I had a student. He's a cool dude, man. I'm gonna try to get him on the show. And he was a video gamer, right? He was a gamer, and I didn't know. But he was always tired on Monday mornings or whatever. Like, bro, man, he was like, I have a job. I said, what are you doing? He was like, I play Call of Duty. Yes. Yeah. And this is going back to this is like 2014, 15. This is before esports is what it is now, right? He was like, I play Call of Duty. Exactly. In the job I was doing, because in the district that I'm working in, I just presented to the Board of Education to get an approved esports team, right? So we got a middle school team and a high school team. And when I was researching it, I researched, and they said there are 24 jobs connected to every professional esports player. So that one player is making 24 careers for other folks, like doing different things based on the needs of an esports player. In this last year, it was only second to the NFL in terms of watched sports. It was the NFL, it was esports, and then it was Major League Baseball. Think about that, Think about what
it is? Like a lot of especially like us Americans, right? You only think like it's only us. People forget there's this thing called Korea. Like China.
And those eyes, are on that. Yes.
Esports is so big in Asian countries and stuff like that.
You're right.
India goes far.
Yep, you're right.
That's why people people are like, oh, they talk about NFL, this is a sport. I'm like, actually, soccer.
Yeah.
I'm like, a lot of people downplay soccer. I'm like, soccer is actually the biggest sport, right?
Yep. True.
And so and I'm like, all right. And then people are like, yo, video games for a living. I'm like, yo, you don't know the amount of money people are making.
Streamers. I mean, you're on Twitch. You know what Twitch is all about. Like the streamers, the money. It is in a space for influence. Outside of money, it's a space for influence. my son, he's trying to start his own thing. You know, he started
Is he
YouTube
really?
channel. Yeah, man. He's like,
how old is he?
yep, he's 10.
Okay.
Yeah, he's 10. And his whole thing is trying to build content. He's creating content, but he wants to build a platform, you know, and so now that's what he's working on, you know. So all of his money is going towards, he wants this kind of desk, he wants, you know, this kind of PC. Like his mind is on,
Dang,
you know,
10 years old.
Yes, yes. And but I see it as me, because I consume video games, right? But I'm like, maybe he's going to take it to a level where he's creating income from that world, where video games for me just consume my time, but for him it may consume his time but earn him money, you know, and earn him a living.
By the time he's like 17.
Yes, yep, exactly.
You see how fast like esports grown over the past like 5 years.
Yep, exactly. So, but I like that advice, man. Buy a camera.
Buy a camera, like
buy a camera.
Or you know what's crazy? Like, even if I had the technology of what these smartphones could do today, like we were happy if we had our screen in color.
Yeah.
In high school.
Yeah.
Like, yo, someone had animated wallpaper on their phone. Like, we're like, yo, your parents make bank, yo. Like damn, yo, how do you get that flip phone, you know?
Back then, yes, it was all that flip. Yo, the text messaging was crazy. You were still using alphanumeric. Like, think about that.
You get charged when you sent one and receive one.
Yep. It's you're right, man. Because y'all were right in the middle. Y'all were right in the middle of that. Yeah, y'all were right in the middle of that, man. That whole
when I went to college, I think my freshman year, I think
that was the first iPhone.
I think so.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did you like, when you just go back to the camera for a second, because I want to ask you this, you know, did you teach yourself how to use a camera? Like, how did you grow that way?
Oh yeah.
Like, once it was all self, like watching YouTube videos and things like that, or just fooling around experimenting?
When I first got interested in it, it was this guy named Jonathan Melendez. He went to Long Branch. Okay. He's like a cop now, but he was traveling the world. He was like doing photos for like Donald Marr. He was like, and then we had like a mutual friend too. He was like taking pictures of, and like one day he was like, "Yo, you want to come with me? We're gonna take pictures of her and stuff like that." And then I was just like asking questions, blah blah. I was like, "Damn!" I was like, "Yo, it costs that much?" I'm like, "Dang!" Right? I started taking photos on my phone, and people were like, "Yo, what camera you use?" It was like the first like Galaxy. It was like version 1. And I was like, "It's just my phone." They're like, "Yo, those are dope." Right? And I was like, "Dang!" So I reach out to my my friend. I was like, "Jonathan," I was like, "Yo, like, what do I need, man?" Like, I kept on sending them Amazon listings. You know how like they do like those bundles? It'd be like $400, and you get like 10 memory cards, a tripod, a cloth,
that whole setup. Yeah,
don't worry about that. He's like, "You gotta replace all that." It's like, nah. He's like, "Yo, just say, yo, get this." And that's when I first started. And then I just started doing random shoots and stuff like that, and just trial and error, and just that's it.
Yo, you always been like ahead of your time, man. And it's funny because I recall before I even had a monitor, right? You're the one, believe it or not, who got me thinking about a monitor, because I'm sitting here playing video games on a TV. And you had, this is a couple of years ago. This may have been 3 or 4. You were selling a monitor at the time because you were investing in a new one.
Yes.
And that's when I reached out. I was like, "Yo, you know, like, what's the deal with the monitor or whatever?" And you were like explaining to me just a different level of technology and then how it brings gaming to a whole different level.
Yep.
Because I didn't know. I'm just playing on a TV thinking, well, I got an expensive TV, so I'm good to go.
Yeah.
You know,
it's getting better now with their like,
they're
becoming more gamer centric, because that's the market. Like, people, if you just watch TV and like you're being a TV manufacturer and you're selling a TV to just a TV person, it's kind of hard, especially during times like this. Like, no one wants to upgrade. People still don't got 4K TVs, right? But if you position a TV to a gamer, gamers got money. No matter what, if there's a recession going on and stuff like that, like, yo,
that industry,
yo, they building out $3,000 desktop.
Yep. It doesn't stop. Yes, it doesn't stop.
So, but so like that's what TVs are being more focused on right now, especially with the next gen coming out, PS5 and Series X. And so like now, so you have people now, like tech people are using TVs as monitors, as gaming monitors. 30-inch, 42, 50-inch on like their desks. Like they use everything. They use it to play Call of Duty, but then they'll use it
to multi,
video editing.
That's wild. And I think that, that's what you were getting into when you were making a shift. You were making a shift on your monitor. I think it was to do more editing and things like that.
Yeah, I got a curve.
It was a curve. Yep. Yep. So, Ant, man, we could talk forever, bro. I'm so happy that I got you on the show. There's some projects like I was talking to you about off the air that I really want to connect with you going into season number 2. I want your mind, and your vision to touch the show. So we're going to connect, because I got an idea and I want to throw it by you, see what you can take it to another level. But thank you, man. Thank you for your time, bro. I really appreciate it.
Yo, your class, Ross. Like I tell people like, they ask me like questions about high school and stuff. I'm like, it's one class, it's one teacher. Like when you're a student, like sometimes you wish there was a sub, right? Some stage, like, I just want to watch a movie today, yo. Like, just chill. Yo, when you were out, like some days, and we had a sub, the class would be like, yo, where Ross at?
Yo, I loved y'all, man. I loved y'all, man.
I was trying to remember who's in our class. I remember it was Justin, Rebecca, Dean.
Yes, y'all were in the I think Chaya. No, I don't know. I think Chaya may have been in there. I think Kelly was in there. Levy was in your class.
I think we're always together.
Yeah. I think Amanda was in that class too.
Dang. Is there a record you can pull up? Like, is there like?
Yo, the only thing I have is pictures, bro. And because I was big on taking pictures. But we probably could look back and find some schedules. But I remember those folks being in your class. Yeah, I think it was junior year. I think I had y'all junior year. I may have had y'all senior year too, man. I don't know if Heather was in there with you. I don't know if Heather was in there with you too. But yo, that was man, those were the funnest days, man. Going to work, and having y'all were a good group. And like even the way we're talking right now, and that's how I always looked at student relationships. Like I was always trying to learn from y'all. I was always listening. I was always engaging in these kind of conversations.
Those classrooms and movies, you're like, yo, that doesn't happen in real life. Like teachers get along with students, you know what I'm saying? It's like
that was it.
Themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like no one was like afraid to, try to be a student that they weren't.
True. And that's what I wanted. And that's what I wanted, bro. Because that was the teacher. I always said I wanted to be the teacher for children that I always wanted. So that's what always drove me. Because I was like, I want to be like what you just explained is what I always wanted. So I was like, I'm gonna try to be that person. And then at the same time, just teaching them a skill in terms of writing, in terms of reading, and introducing them to different things in terms of literature, and diverse literature. And I was like, yo, that's what I want to do, man. And that was the best choice I made, man. Like career, I love that. I miss to this day. I miss that day to day. Being in administration, it's not that same feeling.
You don't get that same yet.
Oh no, never. Not even close. But I still do a lot to develop relationships with students. But it's not as easy as when you're in a classroom. Yeah, it's nothing like that magic. Nothing like. But this helps. Because this gives me opportunities to talk to y'all still, some of y'all, man, and engage with y'all on this level and see the great things y'all doing. So, but I appreciate that. I really do.
Really do. I'm pretty sure you get all the time. You're like, yo, Ross, your class was fire. We want to do homework.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and some of the discussions we would have, it was real, man.
Kids will learn more if classrooms are more like that.
I agree. And sometimes teachers, you know, it's hard sometimes for people to really be their true selves, you know, and it's not easy getting in front of children every day. I'm gonna tell you straight up, especially teenagers. Y'all were like grown, man. Y'all 17 years old, you know, and at the time I'm young. I'm like 24, maybe 25. Like, so it's not even that big difference between us, you know, and it's like, you know, to get up, that took a lot of courage, you know, but it was something that I felt very comfortable doing, you know, and I felt that it was a community. That's how I see it. It was a community and we all learn from each other.
Facts.
Yeah. Word.
Man, yo, so, I think you were the last class. I think
you were 06?
We're 06. Was there another class? Did 07 graduate from the old high school?
No, 06 was the last group.
Probably started, but
come out of the y'all were the last group to come out of the old school. So y'all, the group that came in there the next year, they were in that old building, but the graduation was at the new building.
Okay.
That's how it went. So that was my first, and it's funny because that's why y'all class I'll always remember, because that was my last year teaching. Y'all senior year was my last year in the classroom, and then I went to administration. So yeah, so that y'all will always be a special group to me.
Oh, dang, so you left that position early.
Yeah, and y'all and I can't. And the funny thing is that my first year, y'all were like 7th graders, I believe. Y'all were, I think y'all were 7th graders because I only did like 5 years in the classroom.
Wow.
So that was my first year with y'all, and then my last year, and then I went into administration. But you're right, yo. So historically, y'all got that claim. Y'all were the last graduating class. Yep, out there at the old high school. Yep, y'all were the last ones. Y'all
it was
the last
so weird going back there when Simonelli had the march.
Oh yeah. Because you were taking pictures out there too, right? The Unity Day. Yes. Yeah. The video. Yes. Yep.
The video.
The Unity Day. Yes. The Unity Day.
I've been around the whole country, and I was like, I don't make Long Branch. I was like, yo, it'd be hard to sleep at night.
Yeah, true. That's a great place to shoot, especially that old. It would be cool if you can get into that old historic high school and do some stuff, man.
Yo, it'd be crazy to do like a documentary, right?
Yes. That was yo.
Right. Like some going down the hallway and some like cinematic music.
That'd be fun.
Yo, that's having like people talk about their experiences and stuff.
Yeah, bringing people. That's what I'm saying. Bring some people back. That would be see. Look, there's another project, bro.
Hey.
Hopefully some folks from Long Branch is listening, man. Get this brother in there, start that project.
Yo, give me the keys tomorrow morning. I'll be
Yo, man, thank you. You know how proud I am of you. Yo, keep doing your thing, man. You know, forget about proud. I've been using the term inspired. You know, so many of my former students are doing things that just inspire me.
We were talking about that before.
Yeah. Keep doing it. Yo, keep doing it, man. It's inspiring, bro. It really is, man. It really is.
It's so dope.
Yo,
I don't even know if other high schools have the same experience as us. Like all of us being still close to each other. Because after high school, you kind of like all separate, and then like pursuing your dreams on top of that while staying connected.
Yeah, and making it, in that. Taking that risk, being entrepreneurs, entrepreneurs, that's not easy being an entrepreneur.
It's tough being human.
Yeah.
Yes. And you doing other layers? Like, yo, you want me to do this, that, function, make money, plan, be a CEO, and
yes, you're doing everything. And we were talking about that earlier, and it's like, yo, and then it finally clicks for you. And that's the brilliance of the whole thing, but that's where that practice comes in, and that every day doing the work, staying committed, and that's what y'all have done. And now to be able to see it, it's the stories that now I can tell my children and I can tell students, and that's why it's like, I want to get these stories out there, because sometimes people are close to giving up because they think it's not going to go down, but it's folks like you.
It's like that picture, right? It's like someone like digging in the sand.
Yeah.
It's like a diamond.
Yes.
Right? And they're like, right there. And like, oh man, like I'm done. Like,
yep. And they show them going, turning around, walking away. Yep. And it's right there.
Right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And can you imagine like someone's like, yo, listen, like this is where you're at. Yo, you need to do just this one thing.
Just one more wake up. Just wake up and do it one more day. That's it. Or don't sleep tonight. Just work through the night. That's all you got to do. You know,
once,
yeah.
One more time, yo.
Yeah,
you just need one more latte.
Yeah,
yo,
it's your story, bro. When you were in Asbury Park and y'all were all packed up and y'all were about to bounce, and you were like, "Nah, hold on, one more, that's it." More. And that was the money shot. Like, so that's how this thing works, man. That's how powerful it is. And that's why that one more shot, can be the difference. That's why it can be the difference. And you can't, we can't give up on that, man. It's easier said than done. But I think the more stories that we hear like yours, the more people begin to believe, my chance, I'm going to create my opportunity. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep doing it until the opportunity presents itself.
Ross, is there a way for you to get more people together and do like a panel or like maybe like a Zoom call, right? And like you just get like a whole bunch of people together and stuff like that?
Yeah, like you mean to talk.
This platform can do it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, this platform, it can get us up to, I want to say maybe five people. But Zoom, yeah. This can hold us like 5 of us, because someone else I think Jaleesa had mentioned that, because I was like, J Money, she was like, oh, we should just like get a few of us on, because I was like talking about, because we didn't really get a chance to go deep into her business piece, and that's when she brought up. She's like, you should have a few of us on, and we can do it that way. So I actually been floating that, of having like a group. So we can get a few of y'all to come and talk about y'all stories. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or not even that. It's just random discussion.
Or that. Yeah. It's funny because, Kira Sanders, she had reached out one time. I had went live. This was years ago when live first started. And she was like, you should keep going live. Right. And I was like, I ain't really beat for live. And now when you just said that, it made me think about it too. Is like, maybe that would be a good idea. Just have some just like a flow conversation, with some.
You should do IG Live.
Yeah. You said what? And didn't do it on there. Yeah. I hope that this platform eventually connects to that. Yeah. I hope, because it would be so much easier. But but I agree. Yeah, I gotta tap into the IG, because more eyes. We'll get more eyes on it. Yep, we'll get more eyes on it. So, brother, man, it's been real. It's been real. It's been real.
I've been waiting.
I know you have been. You've been patient too.
I've been popping these episodes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you always live in the chat. Like, yo, what up? And I'm happy that we did it, and it's right on time. And like I said, I look forward to. We're gonna collaborate again. So I got something I definitely want to float by you and see what you think. But again, man, you family here, bro. Yes, thank you. Keep doing your thing. And, we appreciate you here from the Purpose and Practice podcast. 2 nights in a row, we bring you fire to the community. Thank y'all for coming out in the chat. The chat was live tonight. That's like the livest chat we had in a minute. It was a lot going on in the chat.
After this chat, I'm about to check Facebook. I'm gonna check
YouTube. People were in the chat. But shout out to all of you out there who tuned in. And I wish you all well. Stay safe. We are taking next week off. We won't be on next week, and we'll be joining you after the holiday, after Thanksgiving. We'll come back, and we're gonna hit y'all after the Thanksgiving break with another episode of the Purpose and Practice podcast. So peace out. We're gonna go out to Mr. Encore as usual.
Encore.
Shout out to Encore with the dope intro and outro. Peace out. Take care of yourself, fam.
It's an encore banger. Dr. Ross dropping knowledge to the masses. Man, you now tuned in to Purpose and Practice. Purpose and practice. Keep your mental sharp. Learn all the tactics. Dr. Ross dropping knowledge to the masses. Man, you now tuned in to Purpose and Practice. Purpose and Practice. Podcast game. He got it mastered. It's encore. It's an encore banger. Dr.